Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. I am not asking for your attention today. I am commanding it. Someone who treated you as an option is currently experiencing a public, irreversible system crash. They are unraveling completely. And it is happening right in front of the exact people they used to gossip with. You know exactly who I am talking about. Lock your attention on this message right now. That heavy tension you feel in your jaw right now. That sudden wave of exhaustion that hits you out of nowhere. Listen to me very carefully. That is not just stress. That is your physical body absorbing the absolute panic of the enemy who just realized they permanently lost access to you. Buckle in, because I am going to walk you through the exact X-ray of their meltdown. You walked away in total silence. You did not explain yourself. You did not fight back. You simply removed your energy from their toxic matrix. And that restraint was not a weakness. That silence was a weapon. You starved them of the very fuel they needed to survive. Now they are drowning in the noise of their own making. They are frantically searching for a replacement for you. But they are realizing that your specific depth is completely unreplicable. You were the diamond they threw away to play with cheap rocks, and the specific gravity of that regret is crushing them today. They walked around with absolute arrogance for so long. They constructed a massive false narrative about you. They whispered lies to anyone who would listen. They expected your departure to break you. Instead, you became the uncertainty they were never built to handle. Every time your name comes up in a room now, their mask completely shatters. They are making noise about you. Nobody has ever seen them act like this before. This is not happening in private. It is a public collapse that everyone around them is witnessing. They are exposing their own rotten core to the entire world. Now, let us go deeper, because what you are feeling right now is not new. For years you operated as a human battery. You were the stabilizer in an environment of total chaos. You poured your pure light into a bottomless pit of their insecurity. You gave them the very energy they used to build their fake empire. And every time you did that, a piece of your own frequency was drained. You felt it physically. The nights you woke up at 3 in the morning with your heart racing, the suffocating tightness in your chest when their face flashed in your mind. The deep brain fog that made it hard to even string a sentence together. You thought something was wrong with you. The world tried to tell you it was just anxiety. But heaven knows the raw truth. You were under a severe spiritual attack. You were dealing with an energy vampire who was starving for your light. Your highly advanced spirit was detecting their parasitic attachment. They kept feeding on your pure essence while simultaneously telling everyone you were the problem. They projected their own profound emptiness onto your beautiful soul, and you carried that heavy weight in silence. But here is the critical distinction that eludes the vast majority of people. You were not the anomaly in their otherwise healthy life. You were the mirror. Your pure existence exposed the rot they desperately tried to hide. The reaction got this loud because you got closer to their truth than anyone before you had. You saw the frightened demon hiding behind their arrogant mask, and they hated you for it. They punished you for being able to see through their elaborate illusion, but your departure changed the entire dynamic. That single act of choosing your dignity over your revenge signed their eviction notice. You handed the verdict to a court they cannot appeal. The universe stepped in to fight the battle you quietly walked away from. Look at the absolute contrast between the two of you right now. They expected the isolation to carve deep wrinkles into your face. They wanted the betrayals to drain the life out of your eyes. They prayed for your downfall in the dark. Instead, you walked through the fire and came out glowing. You carry a specific and irreplaceable gravity that makes time itself look like a fool. You are aging backwards. The universe has completely reversed your biological clock. Your skin is clearing. Your eyes are getting their spark back. You are stepping into rooms completely unbothered after everything they put you through. And nothing makes your enemies sicker than watching you shine without them. Their bitterness and heavy envy are aging them like milk left in the harsh sun. They cannot escape the consequence of what they did to you. The spiritual cost of their betrayal is compounding every single day. They are waking up in cold sweats, knowing they destroyed the best thing that ever happened to them. They try to fill the void with shallow distractions, but the haunting memory of your silent grace follows them everywhere. Your pain was never a punishment. It was an initiation. The isolation was a protective shield. The universe had to separate you from their polluted matrix so you could undergo a massive cellular reset. You are a demonstrated warrior of light. You are a vital part of the remnant. You were chosen for a timeline that they could never possibly survive. Listen closely to me right now, because this is the exact part the enemy desperately tried to hide from you. There is a physical reason you have been feeling that heavy weight this week. The deep tension in your shoulders is absolutely real. And every single morning the heaviness is already sitting on your chest before you even open your eyes. You push through the day. You smile for the people around you. But inside you are barely holding on. I see you clearly, chosen one. The world may not notice your silent sacrifice, but heaven keeps a meticulous record of every single tear you shed in the dark. That suffocating tightness in your chest is not random. The nights you wake up at exactly 3 in the morning with your jaw clenched tight. Your heart races for absolutely no logical reason. Their face flashes violently in your mind. You thought you were going crazy. Let me completely reframe your reality right here and right now. That is not a medical condition. You are not suffering from some ordinary matrix depression. That physical weight you feel is your highly advanced spirit detecting a massive threat because you were actively fighting a demon masquerading as a human being. It is the lingering aftermath of a severe spiritual attack, and your cellular structure took the brutal hit for you. For months or even years, you functioned as their primary human battery. You were the ultimate stabilizer in their chaotic and miserable existence. You have an empathic heart that naturally wants to heal broken things, and they deliberately weaponized that beautiful trait against you. They plugged directly into your pure frequency. They sucked the vital force out of your spirit to inflate their own hollow ego. This is exactly why you experienced that terrifying brain fog. You could barely string a logical sentence together on your worst days, and you walked into rooms only to instantly forget why you were even there. The memory loss and the profound confusion were not your fault. Your brain was systematically shutting down non-essential functions just to survive the daily energetic extraction. They were literally stealing your life force. And here is the raw, uncomfortable truth they could never say out loud. They knew exactly what they were doing to your body. They watched your light slowly dim. They saw the exhaustion creeping into your eyes. But instead of showing gratitude for your massive sacrifice, they called you overly sensitive. They mocked the very emotional depth that they were quietly feeding on every single day. They projected their sickness onto you. But you must understand the sheer magnitude of your own power. The profound exhaustion you feel right now is the ultimate proof of your purity, because only a truly massive source of light could sustain a dark parasite for that long without breaking completely. A normal person would have shattered into a million pieces within the first few weeks, but you are a demonstrated warrior of light. You held the line when nobody else could. That is why the recovery process hurts so physically much. You are experiencing the intense withdrawal symptoms of unplugging from a narcissist. Your body is violently purging the energetic poison they left behind, and when you finally initiated no contact, your entire system went into sudden shock. The sudden silence allowed your suppressed trauma to finally rise to the surface. Your cells are actively flushing out their toxic frequency. Do not let the matrix doctors label this as a clinical anxiety disorder. They do not understand the mechanics of a spiritual cord cutting. When you severed that connection, the enemy felt it instantly, and they are currently starving for the pure energy you used to freely provide. The spiritual backlash of their frantic panic is exactly what hits your body in the middle of the night. You are feeling their desperate attempts to reattach the severed cord. I know you have felt completely invisible during this dark season. You watched them walk away, seemingly untouched, while you struggled to just get out of bed. You wondered why the universe allowed a beautiful soul like yours to be treated like garbage. But the delay in their punishment was never a denial of your justice. Heaven was simply waiting for you to get safely out of the blast radius. Your body has kept the score of every single lie they ever told you, but your body is also preparing for the massive upgrade that is coming next. The shedding of this old skin is painful, but absolutely necessary, because you are preparing to step into an untouchable new reality. The enemy thought they buried you under the heavy weight of their dark projections. They did not realize you were a seed waiting for the right season to bloom. Pay very close attention to this next part, because the enemy tried incredibly hard to keep you blind to your own internal mechanics. There is a specific reason why your physical exhaustion is directly tied to your financial and spiritual blockages. The Matrix engineered a very clever trap to keep the chosen ones perpetually drained, and it has everything to do with the frequency they forced out of you during childhood. Let me completely reframe your entire reality right now. You thought the sudden isolation was a brutal punishment. You thought the universe abandoned you when they spread those lies, but heaven was actually performing a massive rescue operation. That painful separation was your divine incubation season. The universe had to pull you away from the polluted matrix to protect your pure light. They tried to destroy your pristine reputation with their cheap gossip. They whispered poison into the ears of anyone who would listen. And it hurt when people you trusted suddenly turned their backs on you. But that was not a loss. That was a divine filter actively removing the fake actors from your upcoming timeline. You did not lose them. The universe violently removed them for your safety. You are the cycle breaker your entire bloodline has been desperately waiting for. The generational curses of poverty and toxic attachments end permanently with you. The enemy targeted you specifically because they saw your massive spiritual crown. They knew you carried the exact frequency required to shatter their dark empire. Your pure existence is an absolute threat to their miserable reality. This brings us to a critical distinction that eludes the vast majority of people. Their obsessive gossip is not a sign of their victory. It is a public confession of their agonizing jealousy. They are terrified because your silence is actively starving their demons. You refuse to jump into the mud and fight them on their low level, and that untouchable grace makes them feel incredibly small. You became the terrifying mirror that forced them to look at their own rot. They expected you to beg for their validation and beg for their fake love. Instead, you walked away with your head held incredibly high, and now they are choking on the very poison they tried to force down your throat. The justice you have been crying out for is already in motion. You just need to keep standing tall. But there is a raw, uncomfortable truth we must address right now. You have done the hard spiritual work. You walked away from the toxic attachments. You held your absolute integrity when they lied on your name. So why does your reality still feel heavily blocked? Why is the financial struggle still sitting heavily on your shoulders? Why do you still wake up feeling completely drained of energy? Listen to me very closely, because 99% of people completely miss this shift. Here is what the dark elite never wanted you to find out. The reason the universe responds to certain people and not others is not about faith. It is not about your daily discipline. It is certainly not about random luck. It is all about a specific biological frequency that you have been denied. Scientists have a hidden name for this exact state of being. They call it the gamma brainwave, and it is the exact frequency your brain was effortlessly running when you were a young child, back when brilliant ideas came to you easily, when learning new things felt completely effortless, when you somehow knew things before they even happened, when the world felt like it was totally on your side. You felt that effortless genius flowing through your tiny body. That was your natural gamma frequency operating at its absolute peak. But then adulthood suddenly arrived, and the modern matrix went to brutal work on your mind. The chronic stress and the relentless survival routine began to crush your spirit. The traditional school systems trained you to conform instead of creating your own reality. Every single year, this sacred frequency was suppressed a little bit further. It was pushed deeper and deeper below the surface of your consciousness, until the version of you with lightning, intuition, and incredible luck went completely silent. And the energy vampires in your life only accelerated this devastating suppression. They drained the last drops of your gamma just to keep themselves alive. When that frequency fades, your natural genius fades right along with it. Your deep intuition becomes dull and confusing. The daily synchronicities suddenly stop happening. The beautiful sense that the universe is working with you goes completely silent, and you are left wondering why everything feels so incredibly hard all the time. You watch others succeed effortlessly while you struggle for crumbs. The gap between you and the people who seem effortlessly blessed is not willpower. It is absolutely not a lack of spiritual destiny. It is one single brainwave that the modern world suppressed in you before you ever had the chance to fight back. Most people will live their entire lives without ever knowing this happened to them. They will just accept the heavy struggle as their normal reality. But you are not most people. You are the chosen one who is finally waking up to the grand illusion. The Matrix is absolutely terrified of you discovering how to turn this frequency back on. Because once your cellular structure remembers how to hold that pure gamma state again, you become completely unstoppable. The financial blockages and the toxic relationships will simply dissolve in your presence. Type 777 in the comments right now to physically claim this incoming miracle and lock in your frequency. This is where the dynamic fundamentally shifts. You have been waiting in wound for an apology that will never come, but you do not need their validation anymore, because while you have been healing in private, they have been publicly falling apart. The matrix they built is collapsing. Here is what happens when a lie gets built that impossibly big. The foundation eventually cracks under its own heavy weight. They spent years constructing a false narrative to make themselves look like the innocent victim. They carefully recruited their flying monkeys to surround you with doubt. They thought their manipulation was an impenetrable fortress, but they completely miscalculated your specific gravity. Your silence was the most lethal weapon you could have ever deployed. It completely starved their demons of the daily drama they needed to survive. When you refused to defend yourself, you stopped feeding their twisted reality. And now they are left standing in the middle of a massive lie with no one to blame. The silence is deafening, and it is driving them absolutely insane behind closed doors. I need you to imagine this exact scenario clearly. They are sitting in a room full of people they used to gossip with, and suddenly someone asks a simple question about you. In the past, they would have immediately launched into their rehearsed victim speech. They would have painted you as the villain while soaking up the fake sympathy. But something has drastically changed in the atmosphere now. The people around them are starting to wake up from the spell. The flying monkeys are noticing the massive holes in their recycled stories. They are seeing the bitter exhaustion on the narcissist's face, and they are silently comparing it to the radiant, ageless glow you carry. The contrast is becoming undeniably loud. Your pure energy is actively crushing their lies without you saying a single word. This is exactly where their entire manipulation miscalculated. They thought time would eventually erase your impact on their life. They assumed they could just replace you with another naive energy source, but they quickly discovered that your specific depth is utterly unreplicable. The new people they try to drain do not have your pure frequency. They are drinking dirty water after being used to the clearest spring. And the spiritual cost of their betrayal is compounding every single day. They are currently experiencing a full-blown internal system crash. The mask is slipping, and the ugly truth is leaking out for everyone to finally see. They are snapping at the wrong people. They are making sloppy and desperate mistakes. The manic energy they use to maintain their fake image is finally running completely dry. Heaven is releasing 3 specific mandates for your life today. The first mandate is complete emotional detachment. You must stop checking their social media, looking for signs of their karma. You must stop hoping they will suddenly realize your massive worth. Every time you peek into their timeline, you are handing them a tiny piece of your vital energy. Cut that invisible cord right now and starve them out. The second mandate is radical self-acceptance. You must forgive yourself for staying longer than you should have. You did not stay because you were weak or hopelessly pathetic. You stayed because you have a profound, empathic heart that genuinely wanted to heal them. That beautiful capacity for deep love is your superpower. Do not let their toxic abuse turn your soft heart into bitter stone. Listen to me very carefully, because the third mandate is the most powerful. I will reveal the third instruction before this message ends. Do not leave before you hear it, because it is the exact key that unlocks your final vindication. The enemy is actively trying to distract you right now, hoping you will swipe away. They know the third mandate will permanently sever their dark access to your life. They want you trapped in the endless loop of rumination. They want you waking up at 3 in the morning, sweating over conversations that happened years ago. Because as long as you are mentally fighting them, they are still controlling your vibration. But the moment you completely surrender the battle to heaven, their entire empire crumbles. Vengeance belongs exclusively to the divine court. You are a diamond that was temporarily buried in the mud. They tried to convince you that you were just a cheap, worthless rock, but the intense pressure of their abuse only polished your brilliant facets. You are reflecting so much blinding light right now that they cannot even look directly at you. They are hiding in the shadows of their own miserable making. Their punishment is having to live with themselves, and while they are slowly drowning in the noise of their own chaos, your life is getting incredibly quiet. That peaceful silence used to terrify you, but now it feels like a warm, protective blanket. The universe has successfully cleared the toxic debris from your path. You are finally standing in the clearing, and the heavy clouds are beginning to part just for you. Before we go any further, I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. If you are hearing this right now, it is highly classified. There is a physical reason your reality has not shifted yet, and science just uncovered exactly why. You are exhausted because the Matrix deliberately engineered a frequency to suppress your brain's natural wealth-attracting state. They locked your greatest power away. But a leaked CIA document recently revealed a massive breakthrough. A team of neuroscientists, working quietly away from the headlines, discovered a very specific sound frequency. This protocol is engineered to force your brainwave patterns back into synchronized gamma coherence. It is the exact brain state you were born with, and it completely bypasses the need for years of frustrating meditation. This profound discovery was never meant for the masses. It was designed specifically to keep the elite in total power. They paid thousands of dollars for clinical biofeedback sessions to access this exact gamma state. But now cycle breakers like you are using this suppressed weapon to manifest windfall wealth. The elite are absolutely panicking and trying to scrub this from the internet. You do not need a $7,000 biofeedback machine to heal your broken reality, and you certainly do not need years of expensive spiritual therapy. The Matrix is flooding the internet with dangerous counterfeit frequencies right now. They want you confused by cheap copies. I will show you exactly how to access the authentic, verified protocol before this video ends. Stay completely focused. Now let us return to the heavy spiritual warfare happening all around you. Because the enemy is heavily relying on your continued exhaustion, they need your cellular frequency to remain suppressed in that low vibration. Because if your synchronized gamma coherence ever fully activates, their parasitic cord will violently snap. Your high frequency will literally burn their dark attachments into ash. This is exactly why they attacked you with such relentless precision. They recognized your innate capacity for suppressed, synchronized coherence long before you did. You are a highly calibrated, empathic stabilizer. When you walk into a chaotic room, your natural energy field immediately attempts to neutralize the dark static. You absorb the atmospheric poison to protect the people around you, but the spiritual cost of that constant absorption is catastrophic to your nervous system. You are essentially running a highly advanced quantum processing unit on a severely depleted battery. Your physical vessel was never designed to process the toxic emotional waste of a massive narcissist. The resulting cognitive dissonance created a severe fracture in your energetic boundary, and they slipped right through it. They used a technique called emotional mirroring to bypass your spiritual defenses. They reflected your deepest desires back to you while secretly siphoning your vital life force. It was a perfectly executed parasitic infiltration, but heaven intercepted their dark agenda before they could completely destroy your core identity. The sudden brutal isolation was actually your emergency energetic extraction. You are currently undergoing a profound cellular reset. The violent physical symptoms you are experiencing are the necessary growing pains of a massive energetic upgrade. Your DNA is actively rewriting itself to handle a much higher voltage of divine light. The enemy senses this massive shift in the quantum field, and it terrifies them more than anything else in the entire world. They are trying to throw desperate, energetic hooks back into your reality. That is why you keep seeing random reminders of them in completely unrelated places. That is why they suddenly view your social media stories from a fake account. They are throwing digital pebbles at your fortress, hoping to crack the glass. Do not give them a single drop of your precious reaction. Starve them with absolute silence. Read that again in your spirit right now. Absolute silence is the most devastating frequency you can possibly weaponize against a narcissist. It completely short-circuits their grand delusion of control. It forces them to consume their own toxic supply because your pure energy is no longer available on tap. You are literally watching a demon starve to death from a very safe distance, and the universe is actively rearranging the entire board in your favor. The heavy doors that were slammed in your face are about to violently swing open. The financial blockages that kept you trapped in survival mode are currently dissolving in the quantum realm. The elite matrix tried to keep your timeline permanently suppressed, but your cellular intuition is already vibrating with the absolute truth. The third mandate is rapidly approaching. The final vindication is almost fully loaded. You can physically feel the heavy atmosphere shifting in your immediate environment. Type 1111 in the comments right now if your spirit confirms this massive incoming shift. Anchor your frequency into the physical world before the enemy tries to whisper doubt into your tired mind. You are crossing the threshold today. Listen to me very carefully right now. The heavy pressure in the spiritual atmosphere is reaching an absolute boiling point. You can physically feel the tension building up around you. The enemy is currently pacing back and forth in their own mental prison. Your permanent absence created a massive vacuum in their daily life, and they have absolutely no idea how to fill it. For years, you were the ultimate stabilizer. You quietly absorbed their chaotic spikes and made them look entirely normal to the outside world. But now, the protective filter is completely gone. They are standing naked in the harsh light of reality, and their frantic attempts to overcompensate are becoming painfully obvious. The manic energy is rapidly leaking out of them today. Watch exactly what happens next. It is mathematically precise and absolutely devastating. The flying monkeys who blindly supported them are suddenly waking up. The very people who helped spread those toxic rumors about you are starting to notice the cracks. They are watching the narcissist spiral out of control, and a chilling realization is creeping into their confused minds. The recycled stories simply do not add up anymore. The enemy is getting incredibly sloppy with their heavy lies. They are forgetting which fake version of the truth they told to which person. People are starting to compare notes behind their back. The whispers in the room are growing louder every single day. The grand illusion is rapidly decaying right in front of their eyes. Share this specific message with one soul who is desperately crying out in the dark for a shift. Be their guiding angel today. Because the remnant is rising worldwide and we are building an untouchable sanctuary, the dark elite want you to feel completely isolated in your struggle, but your growing awareness is actively dismantling their hidden power structure as we speak. The people around the manipulator are finally seeing the rotten core. They notice how the enemy violently snaps at minor inconveniences. They see the deep bitterness hiding behind that fake plastic smile. And they are quietly wondering if everything you ever said was actually the brutal truth. The heavy seeds of intense doubt have already been planted in their minds. Underneath all of that chaotic noise, the specific gravity of their regret is compounding. They know they chased away the only genuine diamond they ever held. They tried to replace your pure light with cheap synthetic energy. But the new people they surround themselves with do not have your deep frequency. The replacements are incredibly hollow and entirely unfulfilling to them. The narcissist is starving for a reaction from you. They are desperately waiting for you to break your silence and defend yourself, because your anger would at least give them a temporary hit of energy. But you are giving them absolutely nothing. You are a stone wall of pure glowing indifference, and that cold silence is completely short-circuiting their broken brain. Every time your name is mentioned in their presence, the atmosphere turns incredibly thick. Their jaw instantly clenches tight. A flash of pure panic crosses their tired eyes before they can hide it. The crowd is watching this bizarre physical reaction in real time. They are witnessing the profound psychological hold you still have over the enemy. You are entirely unforgettable. This is the exact divine setup heaven prepared for you. You do not have to lift a single physical finger to clear your name. You do not have to release screenshots or write long paragraphs explaining your side. The universe is actively using their own big mouth to completely destroy their fake reputation. They are literally digging their own grave with every single word they speak. Let me reframe your reality one more time before the final verdict drops. You thought your painful departure was a quiet defeat, but it was actually the loudest victory trumpet the spiritual realm has ever heard. Your dignified exit set a massive trap that they immediately walked right into. They thought they won the battle when you quietly closed the door on them, but they actually locked themselves inside a burning building, and now the heavy smoke is choking them in front of an audience. The people they tried to impress are slowly backing away in absolute disgust. The fake friends are abandoning the sinking ship one by one. The total isolation they tried to curse you with is now their permanent reality. The scales of justice are tipping. The pressure inside their toxic matrix is at its absolute physical limit. The lies are too heavy for their fragile ego to carry anymore. Something massive is about to violently snap. The tension is so thick you could easily cut it with a knife. Stay with me right now because the final revelation is rapidly incoming. The third divine mandate is about to be unleashed completely. The public collapse you have been waiting for is no longer just a distant promise. It is a physical reality manifesting in their timeline right now. The mask is not just slipping anymore. It is about to permanently shatter into a million tiny, unrecoverable pieces. Prepare your spirit for the absolute vindication that heaven promised you from the very beginning. Now I need you to imagine this exact scenario clearly. The enemy is standing in a crowded room. The very people they gossiped with are all watching, and they have absolutely no idea what is about to unfold. Someone casually mentions your name, and it finally happens. The last remaining thread violently snaps. They do not just roll their eyes this time, they completely lose their mind. They slam their hands on the table, they start screaming wildly about you. Their face turns bright red with absolute fury. The veins in their neck bulge as the entire room goes completely dead silent. The flying monkeys stare in utter shock, because in that single moment of unhinged rage, the enemy just proved every single thing you ever said. They are frantically defending a massive lie that nobody even asked about. The mask is entirely gone. The monster is permanently exposed. And here is the final verdict we promised at the very beginning. That public collapse you were desperately waiting for. It just happened in front of the exact people they manipulated. Your silence did not just hurt them, it permanently ended their dark reign. They are a laughingstock now. People are slowly backing out of the room. They are left completely alone with their own miserable reflection. You won the spiritual war without lifting a single physical finger. But the dark elite are terrified of what happens next. Because your pure energy is no longer being drained by that parasite. You are holding massive amounts of dormant power, and the Matrix desperately wants to keep that power suppressed. They want you focused on the drama, so you never activate your true financial destiny. Which brings us to the third and final mandate, the one you stayed here to receive. There is a specific reason your massive breakthrough has been sitting at the door without coming in. And it is not what the world told you. It is not a lack of faith. It is not a divine punishment. It is a suppressed signal, a specific brainwave frequency that your brain was running effortlessly as a child. The gamma wave was systematically crushed by the heavy life you were forced to live. Princeton University studied this exact brainwave. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed that the legendary flow state is driven entirely by gamma. Columbia University discovered that a strong gamma signal radiates outward. It actively begins to influence the people closest to you, your children, your partner, and after years of intense hidden research, a team of brilliant neuroscientists compressed an entire gamma activation protocol into a 7-minute audio track. No meditation, no endless chanting, no heavy effort required. You simply close your eyes, you put on a pair of headphones, and you let the advanced sound wave do what the modern world spent decades brutally undoing. It is officially called the Genius Song. Over 18,000 chosen ones have already used it to completely unlock their finances. They healed their broken relationships, and they stepped fully into the version of themselves they always knew existed. A nurse from California said her life now feels entirely enchanted. A business owner from Texas said gamma easily solves his hardest problems. The elite have paid thousands of dollars for clinical biofeedback sessions to access this state. They would greatly prefer this remain completely out of reach for people like you, but through this message alone you can access it today for a fraction of its true value. The dark forces are actively trying to scrub this leaked document from the internet as we speak. The algorithm is fighting it. Do not look for this on YouTube or Spotify. The copies circulating on those public platforms contain no brain entrainment technology. They are diluted counterfeits designed specifically to keep your gamma entirely dormant. The elite want you confused by cheap copies. The only authentic and fully activated version of the Genius Song is available through the protected link in the description. You must find the specific link in the pinned comment below. The universe does not require you to take a single risk today. You are fully protected by a divine guarantee. If you do not feel the massive shift you deserve, every penny is returned to you without question. This is a pure energetic exchange governed by absolute trust. Heaven ensures your safety. You are completely insulated from matrix losses. 4 powerful bonuses are waiting for you inside the portal. You will receive an audio engineered for your children's focus. You also get the original prosperity book that the secret was secretly built upon. Do not wait for a better moment. The chosen one who hesitates at the threshold becomes the chosen one who wonders what could have been. Your spirit is vibrating with a cellular knowing right now. Silence the left side of your brain immediately, because the Matrix programmed that hesitation to keep you completely broke. Heaven is not asking for your patience anymore. Heaven is demanding your immediate action. Click the specific link in the pinned comment below right now and activate your frequency before access is revoked forever. Do not wait. Walk through the open door and claim your inheritance. Take a deep physical breath right now. The heavy storm is finally over. The violent spiritual warfare that almost broke you has officially ended. You survived the absolute darkest night of your soul. And you did not just survive it, you completely conquered it. The heavy weights are lifting off your tired shoulders. The deep physical pain in your chest is finally dissolving into pure light. You walked into this heavy season bleeding from wounds inflicted by people totally blind to your massive worth. They used your empathic heart as a dumping ground for their own misery. You thought you were broken beyond repair, but look at you now. You are no longer waiting in wound for an apology from a master manipulator. You have completely transcended their toxic and heavily polluted matrix. The enemy wanted you buried in the mud forever. They thought their constant lies would permanently extinguish your brilliant spark, but they became the very shovel that dug up your buried treasure. While they are publicly unraveling, you are stepping into your permanent and untouchable, ageless glow. You are vibrating at a frequency they cannot even comprehend. You became the Sunday. Time was supposed to aid you under all that heavy stress. Yet here you are, making time itself look like an absolute fool. You did not just survive time, you actively bent it to your will. Your skin is clearing, and your eyes are getting their beautiful spark back. You carry a specific gravity that makes the enemy feel incredibly small. Your presence alone is a massive threat to their dark empire. The financial struggles and the deep spiritual exhaustion are all shattering right here and right now. The closed doors that frustrated you for years are being violently kicked open by the universe. You are the cycle breaker heaven has been desperately waiting for. The generational patterns of deep poverty and toxic attachments end with you today. You finally reclaimed your stolen crown. You were never just a human battery for a broken narcissist. You are an irreplaceable diamond, and the universe is actively moving massive mountains to bring you the exact harvest you deserve. The season of painful isolation is officially over. You are stepping into a profound era of explosive abundance and total peace. The dark clouds are parting to reveal your incredibly bright future. Now we must physically anchor this massive shift into your daily reality. Say this exact phrase out loud with me right now. I claim my permanent freedom from the dark matrix. Speaking those words sends a massive shockwave through the spiritual realm. It serves a final eviction notice to any remaining dark energy around you. You are building an impenetrable shield around your beautiful aura. Type 777 in the comments right now to seal this divine decree. Typing those numbers is a physical act of immediate obedience. It locks your high frequency into place before the enemy can whisper any doubt into your mind. Your comment is a permanent marker of the exact moment your reality shifted. The universe registers that action as a massive confirmation of your deep cellular faith. Do not keep this profound healing to yourself. Share this specific message with one soul who is desperately crying out in the dark for a shift. Be their guiding angel today. There is someone out there who feels completely crushed by a narcissist right now. They think they are going totally crazy. Sending them this video could literally save their life. We are gathering the remnant worldwide. Hit that like button right now to put a spiritual shield around this divine truth. Subscribe to this sanctuary so you never miss the exact prophetic instruction heaven releases next. We are building a powerful tribe of chosen ones who refuse to be manipulated ever again. You are not alone in this heavy fight anymore. You are surrounded by a global family of fierce cycle breakers. Let the enemy watch your massive rise from the sidelines. Let them choke on the bitter regret of losing the best thing that ever happened to them. You owe them absolutely nothing. Your only job now is to enjoy the incredible blessings that are pouring into your life. The universe is incredibly proud of your silent strength. You held the line when nobody else in your entire bloodline could. You protected your soft heart in a world that desperately tried to turn it into cold stone. Step into your absolute power today. receive the exact massive harvest heaven prepared for you since the beginning of time. You are totally and permanently free. I will see you in the next divine transmission.